Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Class Action Megapark. Now the park's filling up very nicely. There's just a few spots remaining. There's a little spot over here. I could do something over here. And the biggest spot that still left to finish is right over here. Now, there's a bit of an awkward spot to fill up. It's quite strangely shaped. And there's a little area over here as well, and over here. And I was thinking, what's the best way to fill up an awkward spot? And that's of course with a Vekoma Family Boomerang. I actually did the same in Mount Duckling, the awkward spot left over. So I just made a family boomerang that just snaked its way through the area. I'm thinking of doing the same over here. So probably the station will be somewhere on top here on the mountain. It will get pulled backwards here. And then it will make its way downwards through several tunnels maybe. I might make it go over the path here. Would probably be fun if the bikes actually jumped over the track here. I could maybe even fit a loop somewhere over here. And then probably I could make it across the path here as well. Do a little tunnel and the spike could then be somewhere over here. Now, I doubt it would actually fully make its way back to the station unless I made the spike here very high. That's something that I don't want to do. So I'm going to make use of a shoestring here. So basically the coaster will have several small booster sections. Just try to make it look like it has some tire wheels here and there. And with the shoestring, basically what I'm going to do is I will make an identical track underground, but in the place where there are booster sections on the above ground track, on the underground track I will actually make the track go upwards a bit. And the reason I'm going to do that is so that the coaster, when it goes backwards, when a coaster goes backwards, it's generally not really affected by boosters. So because of the underground track going upwards, if it's going reverse, it will actually speed up a little bit. So it will look like the boosters also work in reverse. Now, if you couldn't really follow this explanation, don't worry, I didn't really do a good job at it. As usual, it's much easier to show you how something works than to explain it when it gets a little bit technical. Anyway, first I'm going to expand the path here a little bit and start figuring out a layout for this coaster. Now, the track combination that I typically use for a Vekoma Family Boomerang or Junior Boomerang is the looping coaster track. I think it looks the most like the new generation Vekoma track, and I also like if it shows drive tires. I believe it does that for if you have a Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 installed and you have OpenRC2 linked to it, it will actually use the drive tire sprites for boosters. I think those are something which you would expect on a Vekoma Junior Boomerang. Now sadly it doesn't do that for the chain lift section, so probably I'll just make this track invisible and probably put some junior coaster track instead. Alright, I just tested the ride and it looks like it will actually make it through the layout, even without any shoestring. Now it is quite slow here at the end, but I think this is acceptable. Especially when there's also guests in the train, then it will be a little bit heavier, and then it should be even easier for the train to make it through. Now, just in case, I made these boosters here at the end a little bit stronger, and that should enable it to make it a little bit further up the hill, and that will make it even easier for the train to actually make it back to the station. Now, something else which I did is I actually put a few extra pieces here, and I made them invisible, so it will actually look like the train overshoots the rail here a little bit. So yeah, just to give it that little bit of extra Class Action Park vibe. Right, yeah, still quite a lot of decoration to do in this ride. I now just made it go through all these trees. Here we can see it, good boost up. And yeah, it goes just over the edge here. Okay, yeah, like I said, there's still quite a lot of decoration to do here. Now I just drew it through everything I could find here. Obviously I don't want it to go through the ground here. So yeah, now it's time to make it look a little bit more pretty. Alright, I now did a huge chunk of landscaping around the coaster. So yeah, if you follow it here, you can see it now goes through all this wooded landscape. I tweaked the track here a little bit. I just wanted to make this jump a little bit nicer. So I made the track a little bit lower. So yeah, now the guests on the bicycle have more of a clearance when jumping down here. I also decorate this area around the loop a bit more. Put some fences around, and yeah, I quite like how this area here became. And it also looks like the coaster has enough speed to make it to comfortably Jesus, to comfortably make it through the loop in both directions. So that's really good. And over here, a little bit of tunnel, and also added some trees over here. Also added some more trees here in this Asian area. Normally I try to avoid having a ride go through two different themed areas, but yeah, this is just a really short moment here. So yeah, it probably doesn't really matter that it does this over here. And again, just some more trees over here. Okay, well, this part of the ride is mostly finished. I will probably do a little bit more touching up here off camera. But I think I now want to focus on this part of the coaster. Obviously the station still needs to be done. And yeah, I cannot just leave this part empty. So this area probably could also use some shops and stalls. Especially since this area doesn't really have any place yet for the guests to get food or drinks. So we'll have to take care of that. Alright, I've made a little shop here that sells delicious wood chips for the guests. And they can also get a glass of resin to go with it. But yeah, you can see the amount of guests that are walking around in this area. It's actually quite insane. It's probably because this ride is now new, so it's really popular. And the capacity, well, of all these rides here is not really great. So over here, this ride only can put through 480 guests per hour. Yeah, that's typically a problem of these boomerang rides. Also, this ride over here also doesn't have a very great throughput, and the bicycle ride only can hold very few guests at a time. So yeah, that's why it's getting a little bit crowded in this area now. But yeah, over time I think it will get less as these rides get less. Yeah, as this ride doesn't get its popularity boost anymore from being new. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to add some more trees here in this area. I'm not really sure how I want to decorate, how I want to further decorate this area. I think I could fit another ride in this section, so I'll just leave this open for now. So yeah, one of my next episodes will definitely consist of yeah, just filling up areas that are still somewhat empty. Anyway, I'm just going to do some more decoration here in this area. Alright, with all that landscaping done, I think this ride is now complete. So you can see it leave the station here. And as we follow it through the layout, yeah, I think I can say I'm pretty proud of how all this landscaping here looks. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And of course it also fills a nice chunk of yeah, all these little spots of land that we still had left. Alright, yeah, there's a few spots remaining in the park which still have to be filled. For most of them I actually have an idea of what I want to do in it. But for this one I haven't really decided yet. So if you have any good suggestions of what I could build here, just let me know in the comment section. Alright, as usual, it's time to add several more patrons to the park. Now I could find 2 more patrons in the list which are not in the park yet, so I will add those first. Alright, didn't really have entertainers yet in these areas of the park. So I've added 1 entertainer here at the entrance to the Aztec section, and 1 entertainer which will be walking around here in the main street next to this wacky whimsical worm coaster. Alright, the entertainer over here, we will name him Capitana Simpa. So yeah, thanks for supporting me, Capitan Simpa. I really appreciate it. And then we'll add another patron. Let me find the entertainer that I just placed again. And we'll make him... actually, let's make him a warrior. A Roman costume. I think that will fit with the Aztec theme. His name is Lahodol. Thanks a lot for the support. Yeah, I really appreciate all the support I'm getting from everyone. Not just on Patreon, but also in the YouTube comments and also on my Discord. My list of patrons who I have in the park is a little bit of a mess. So I may have actually forgotten to add someone to the park. So I will just show the list here. If you are a patron and you don't see yourself on this list, you may want to pause the video now to check. If you don't see yourself on this list, yeah, just give me a message. Could be on Discord, could be on Patreon, on a Patreon website or on YouTube. Just yeah, send me a message and I will add you to the park. It's quite a long list of people who I've added to the park, but there's probably 1 or 2 who I have forgotten. So yeah, if you don't see your name in this list, yeah, just hit me up and I will still add you to the park. Now, I also want to give one of my subscribers the opportunity to become an entertainer in the park. So if you leave a comment on this video, yeah, I can see if you're subscribed or not. So the highest, the most liked comment under this video from a subscriber, yeah, will be placed in the park in the next episode as an entertainer. Alright, yeah, that was enough building from me for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me build. If you liked this video, please consider giving this video a like. You can, of course, also subscribe. For the rest of this video, we will follow a train along the track of this new roller coaster. Alright, hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.